Life is strange because caring guys feel the most alone. You give the person you care about your all, and they seem to drift away. It feels unfair, like loving deeply is a weakness instead of a strength. But this frustrating experience teaches us something important about how attraction works on a deeper level. We'll talk about why giving too much or too little affection can push people away, and how finding the right balance is important for keeping the connection. We'll do this by combining timeless Stoic principles with practical relationship strategies. This will help you become a more compelling and centered partner. If you're ready to change how you approach love and learn how ancient wisdom can improve your relationships, you've come to the right place. This isn't just advice. It's a whole new way of looking at things that can change how you make real relationships. First, let's dive in. Over-attachment makes you less important. Your worth is important. Here's a brutal truth. Women often avoid men who seem to invest too quickly. They don't dislike love. The intensity of the attachment suggests something deeper. The intriguing truth is that her desire to distance herself is not due to the love itself, but rather to the manner in which it manifests. When attachment shows up too early, it sends a message that can be deeply unappealing. Whispers, "I need you to finish me. My happiness depends on you alone," can come across as suffocating and based more on insecurity than real affection. For example, when you focus all of your time, attention and energy on a woman at the beginning of a relationship, it may seem romantic at first, but what you're really sending is a message of lack, either consciously or unconsciously, that you don't have any other interests, priorities or options. Instead, you aspire to project an image of a self-assured, purpose-driven man. Consider the scenario where she becomes the focal point of your life. You meet someone new, and within days you're changing your plans to spend time with her, texting her non-stop, and cancelling plans with your friends to spend time with her. At first, she may enjoy the attention, but over time she may start to wonder why he's always available and doesn't have anything else going on. Is he idealizing me because he thinks I'm his only chance? She's not being difficult to get or trying to keep a safe distance. She just wants to be with a man who is comfortable and independent and doesn't need her approval. The idea of Stoicism in memento mori. Remembering your impending death serves as a powerful reminder of the fleeting nature of life. It's not a morbid thought. It's a call to focus on what really matters. Having this attitude helps you see relationships as a part of life, not the whole thing. This doesn't mean you shouldn't love deeply. It just means you shouldn't base your sense of self-worth or happiness on another person's presence in your life. Instead of becoming fixated on one person, use this wise Stoic idea to build a full and rich life based on your own interests. Goals and growth. When you follow your own path and live with purpose, you naturally give off an attractive vibe. You're not chasing, you're leading. You're not looking for praise. You're standing tall in your own confidence. Your magnetic confidence not only attracts others, but also maintains her interest. In the end, men who lose themselves in the pursuit of love often miss the love they so badly wanted. A real relationship grows when two people respect and admire each other, not when they depend on each other. Giving up your identity to maintain a relationship loses the essence of what makes it work. Focus on building your inner strength and self-esteem instead. Men who are whole and happy on their own, who don't need them but choose them, attract women. When you put your self-respect and purpose first, the dynamic changes completely. To conclude, don't live to please others and base your worth on them. Instead, be the man who makes your life so exciting and fulfilling that she wants to join you in it. By putting yourself first, you'll find that women aren't pulling away from your care. They're drawn to the confidence and value you exude. This explains why she gradually distances herself from you. Women rarely end their relationships in this way. Why does she gradually pull away? Instead of leaving quickly and dramatically, they usually do it slowly, almost imperceptibly. At first everything seems fine, but then you start to notice small changes. She texts me less often. Her responses become shorter. Her eagerness to make plans diminishes, and she appears less warm, despite her quiet departures. The signs are there, but many depressed men don't see them. In this slow retreating typically stems from unresolved feelings and questions, rather than confronting the problems directly. She starts to make space for herself, which works as a test to see if she really wants to leave or if the relationship can be saved without a big fight. It's her way of easing into emotional detachment while she figures out what to do next. Many men miss these signs because they're too focused on their own feelings. They think that as long as she hasn't said anything directly, everything must be fine, but her actions often say more than her words. If you're not paying close attention, you might not notice her subtle cues until she tells you it's over. When you're deeply in a relationship, it can be challenging to recognize the signs of her withdrawal, as your desire to maintain the relationship may cause you to overlook her subtle cues. You tell yourself she's just busy or having a rough time, but deep down you can feel a change. Admitting this can be painful because it forces you to face the chance that she's pulling away. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, said that we should see truth clearly and not let our feelings cloud our judgment. He wrote that you control your mind, not things that happen in the outside world. Understanding this will give you strength in her absence. This principle says to watch what she does without letting fear or desire affect your judgment. If you see her putting some space between you and her, don't freak out. Instead, take a step back and watch. Pay attention to her actions without projecting your hopes or fears onto them. Ask yourself if consider whether she is attempting to spend time with you, whether she initiates conversations, whether you are consistently the one reaching out, and whether her words align with her actions, or if you observe a discrepancy. Objectively, you can respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. If you feel like she's pulling away, chasing her harder is the worst thing you can do. Instead, respect the space she's creating and use this time to focus on yourself, your goals, your interests, and your personal growth. This isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about showing that you respect her independence and aren't too eager to cling to her. Let her take the lead when she's ready. This shows that you're strong and mature and that you're not willing to give up your honor or force something that isn't mutual. If she's interested, she'll notice your calm and collected response, which may pique her interest again if she doesn't. You've avoided the heartbreak of clinging to someone who was ready to let go. In the end, your inner strength and self-respect set you apart. These are the qualities that make you the kind of man she'll regret losing, whether she knows it or not. What do you think about this point of view? Have you ever seen or felt the minor signs that someone is pulling away? Your insight could help others who are going through the same thing. You can leave your ideas in the comments or just type them out. I value your dedication to self-respect and inner power, as it demonstrates my own growth. Third, there are risks when you let your emotions run wild. Feel free to take the lead. Take the lead. One mistake that many men make in relationships is letting their emotions determine their choices. While love and passion can be powerful emotions that prompt us to act without thinking, making decisions solely based on these fleeting feelings can lead to problems. Choosing based on feelings can lead to goal failure. It might feel like dedication to give up your values and change your whole life to revolve around her, but it actually hurts your position and puts the relationship at risk. Think about a time when you acted quickly to make someone happy. Maybe you changed your plans at the last minute because she asked, or you put off a personal project to spend more time with her. You might have believed that you were demonstrating your commitment, but in reality, you might have demonstrated a lack of groundedness. These kinds of actions can show that you're willing to put her happiness ahead of your own, which is a strategy that can destroy respect and balance over time. This can cause a subtle shift in her perception of you, leading her to believe that your emotions easily sway you and that you lack the firm resolve necessary to tackle life's challenges. This doesn't make the relationship safer. Instead, it might make her doubt your ability to make good, solid decisions when they matter. A partner wants someone who can be a steady anchor, not someone whose moods change all the time. When decisions are based on fleeting emotions instead of clear principles, a state relationship begins with a solid personal foundation. If you base your decisions on logic and good thinking, it's like building a house on shaky ground. It might hold for a while, but eventually cracks will show up. As a reliable person, you bring security to the situation and show that you can make well-thought-out decisions even when you're feeling strongly. Don't shut down your emotions or become cold and distant to balance your feelings and ideals. Instead of allowing your feelings to control you, you should allow them to guide you. Feelings are useful, but they should never be more important than your beliefs. Women admire men who can be both emotionally and logically strong. Someone who can not only follow their heart when necessary, but also listen to it when it's tough, is someone women admire. The philosopher Seneca was right when he said that real wisdom comes from acting on beliefs instead of impulses when you're angry. It's easy to make decisions based on what makes you feel good, such as avoiding pain, making someone happy, or giving in to short-term pleasure. But my teachings tell us that this path often leads to regret. Instead, by making decisions based on our moral compass and long-term vision, we create a life of clarity and purpose. Consider your values as a compass, guiding you through challenging emotional situations and ensuring you remain true to yourself. When you stay true to your values, you earn respect from others and from yourself. A strong man doesn't ignore his feelings, but he also doesn't let them control his actions. He recognizes and understands them, learns from them, and then makes decisions that are in line with his goals and values. This emotional discipline is challenging, yet it demonstrates a level of maturity and inner power that is highly appealing. So the next time you feel like you have to make a quick choice to please her, stop and ask yourself, does this reflect my values? To show her that you are not just a man of feelings but also a man of character, someone she can respect and depend on. You show her that you are not just a man of feelings but someone she can trust. That is what makes you unique and truly attractive. The fourth reason she loses. Why is she losing? When a woman begins to distance herself, it's often due to a subconscious experience of forceful hypergamy. Before you call this shallow or materialistic, know that it's just an urge. Drive. Because of their genes, women naturally want to find the most valuable partner. This isn't about money or looks. This primal instinct has been around since the beginning of time and shapes her choices even if she isn't fully aware of it. You might think that by putting her first and making her your whole world, you'll win her over. But in reality, it usually works the other way around. If you invest too much too soon, she will begin to doubt you, questioning whether he is truly that eager to secure her, whether he is the best option available, and why he isn't acting like a man with other options. It's not that she doesn't appreciate your love. Rather, hypergamy prompts her to seek out indications of strength and value. If a man appears overly eager or moves too quickly, it could appear as though he lacks these traits. Imagine meeting a man who seems to have everything. He's successful, fit, confident, and well-spoken. On paper, he appears to be the ideal partner, but if he engages in constant texting, alters his plans for her, and prioritizes her before the relationship solidifies, he diminishes his value in her eyes, despite his seemingly flawless qualities. His actions show that he doesn't have enough inner power and abundance. Instead of projecting the image of a man in charge, he seems needy and desperate. At that point, she begins to distance herself. It's important to know that this doesn't make her a negative person. She is simply following her intuition and choosing the person she believes to be the strongest and most capable. It's not about looking for the richest or flashiest man when you're hypergamous. The attraction lies in a man who possesses self-assurance and the strength to stand independently. This is the Stoic principle of love. FTI, which stands for love of fate, teaches us to accept everything that happens in life, even other people's feelings that we can't change. Instead of fighting hypergamy or being frustrated at women for following their natural urges, we should accept them, recognize that individuals are unique, and understand that you cannot alter their inner desires, but you can alter your response to them. Amor Fati encourages you to consider what aspects of your behavior you can modify. Growth and self-improvement. If you work to be the best version of yourself, you'll automatically attract better partners. Unbelievably, genuine confidence doesn't stem from attempting to win someone's affection. It originates from understanding your own worth. So instead of worrying about whether she's losing interest, ask yourself, am I living up to my potential? Am I building a life I can be proud of, no matter who is or isn't around? Living with self-respect attracts the right person, not because you chase them, but because you embody the qualities they instinctively seek. Let us know what you think by leaving a comment below, or if you agree with this message, type, I am sufficient, and I continue to evolve, to validate your commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. Let's keep going on this trip together as we move on to the next important step. The fifth point is that women want to be strong. Women want to be stronger than needy. Women instinctively seek partners who possess strength and resilience, as they provide a sense of security and stability, particularly in times of uncertainty, when a man tends to become mentally reliant on her and constantly seeks her approval. It can make you respond automatically. She might start to wonder how he can be stable if he can't stand on his own. I need that thought isn't always conscious. Sometimes it's a deeply ingrained biological reaction. Picture two men. The first one is always trying to get her attention, often checking in to make sure she's okay and building his life around her. He may think he's being loving, but his actions show that he's insecure, and his need for her presence to feel complete shows that he doesn't have enough inner strength. The second man, on the other hand, is sure of himself. Despite his deep love for her, he remains focused on his own goals and purpose, enjoying her company without becoming dependent on her. Which man do you believe draws her? It's evident that she is drawn to the man who maintains his independence. His actions demonstrate his ability to navigate life's challenges, thereby making him naturally attractive. This inner strength makes it clear he's a good partner. When you have the ability to handle problems calmly, you possess a magnetic quality that is often expressed as leadership and dependability. Women naturally admire strong men more than weak ones. This is because, from an evolutionary point of view, strength meant survival. Throughout history, strong men provided, protected, and led, while weaker men relied on others for support. Even in today's world, these primal instincts affect attraction dynamics. If you show emotional dependence too early on, it sends subtle warning signals. She might wonder how he'll handle real problems if he's already so needy. Can he keep his cool when things get rough? It's not that she doesn't want a loving and caring partner, she just wants someone who can love without losing himself in the process. She appreciates self-reliance and inner strength. They taught that true power originates from self-control, not from the desire to win others over. Epictetus reportedly said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This wise saying demonstrates that a man must cultivate independence and a self-worth that remains unaffected by the opinions of others. Following this principle transforms you into a man who no longer requires constant praise. You exude confidence in your decisions, skills, and life's path. This kind of independence is very attractive because it shows that you're a man of substance who won't give up easily. Women want a partner who can stand by them as equals or lead when needed, not someone to carry them emotionally. If you're always trying to win her approval, you risk becoming a burden instead of a source of strength. Instead, work on strengthening your body, mind, and emotions. Be the man who loves deeply but stays true to himself. Show her that while you cherish her, you're confident enough to walk your own path. When you develop this kind of resilience, you naturally become the partner she wants and admires. You will no longer be just another man vying for her attention. Instead, she will be proud to stand beside you, confident in your ability to navigate life's challenges. Number 6. It's all about how It all boils down to how she feels about them. Let's get something straight about how you feel. Women don't fall in love with a list of things a man has done. Your appearance, income, and height may initially attract her, but they won't keep her interested. What matters is how she feels when she's with you. The excitement, the comfort, the unpredictability, and sometimes even the challenge. If your interactions are too predictable or you solely rely on surface-level traits, you might initially impress her, but you run the risk of losing her interest over time. A woman's deep attraction to a guy who may not be the most popular or successful stems from his ability to create a unique and unforgettable experience. He crafts moments that linger in her memory, providing her with unique and unforgettable experiences. He stands out because he knows that genuine attraction comes from making her feel something deeply, not from checking off a list of desirable traits. On the other hand, you could be the most popular and successful man, but if your conversations lack depth or your actions become too predictable, she will eventually lose interest. It's not because she's being unreasonable, it's because attraction isn't based on logic. It's straightforward to think that you need to meet certain standards like looks, money, or status to keep her attention. But the truth is that you can have all of that and still fail in relationships if you ignore the emotional connection. Women are intuitive, and they can tell when a man is trying to impress instead of genuinely connect. That kind of energy feels hollow and uninspiring. So what should you focus on instead? It's not about external validation, but about how you show up. Are you fully present during your interactions with her, or are you merely going through the routine? Do you bring energy and authenticity to your interactions, or are you relying on superficial traits to do the heavy lifting? The key is to make a real emotional connection that resonates with her as a Stoic. Epictetus told us that how you react matters more than what happens. You can't change how she feels, but you can change the kind of man you want to be. When you live your life with purpose and honesty, you naturally exist. You have the kind of energy that makes people want to be with you. You are not required to assume the identity of another individual. Rather, you must be the most exceptional version of yourself. That's what attracts women. A man who is content with himself, doesn't need approval, and lives his life with passion and purpose. Overall, women remember how you made them feel more than what you said or owned. You brought happiness, comfort, excitement, and even intrigue into their lives. It's not about being flawless, it's about being genuine when you can evoke a range of emotions in others. Instead of making a list of traits, you focus on making a link that lasts through happiness, curiosity, passion, and even a little tension. Make yourself a guy who can make women feel unique. Show who you really are. Accept yourself as you are, and let your interactions flow naturally. That's how you build real attraction and become unforgettable. This may resonate with you. Consider how you interact. Are you focused on making real connections or relying too much on external traits? Write what you think in the space below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you're ready to accept connection and honesty. To confirm your commitment to growth, just type, "I choose to lead with authenticity." Let's continue our discussion, and now we will move on to the 7th step, accepting mystery and imagination. Getting into mystery and imagination. Women do better in places where there is a lot of imagination and fantasy. They love the anticipation of unexplored possibilities and what is just beyond reach. If you are always available, predictable, or at her disposal whenever she calls, you take away that sense of mystery without meaning to. The thrill wears off, leaving her with nothing to think about or look forward to in the relationship. It risks turning into a boring habit instead of the exciting adventure she wants. Why do women find love stories and exciting adventures so interesting? Not only do the happy endings make people feel good, but the turns, unknowns, and unpredictable moments along the way keep them interested, creating a natural desire for an exciting journey that keeps getting better. When you are too open or simple to reach, it's the unknown of what will happen next that captures the heart and mind. If you remove that sense of wonder, you might become as familiar as a favorite book. Knowing your every move and response is comforting, but not exciting anymore. If she knows everything about you, the relationship stops being an adventure and turns into a routine that doesn't interest her. You become a steady, reliable, and safe person, but you don't have the fire that comes from being a little unpredictable. The Stoics stressed living a meaningful life, embracing difficulties, and getting joy from growing as a person. It's not because things are hard that we don't dare. It's because we don't dare that things are hard in relationships. This means that you should try to live a full, adventurous life by living with intention and passion. This way, you create an air of mystery and intrigue without having to pretend or play games. This doesn't mean putting on a show or being difficult to get. It means genuinely living a life full of exploration. Pursuing your own goals leads to self-discovery and personal growth. Follow your interests and learn new things. It comes easily to you. Build up a strong sense of allure. Men with this energy, a sense of purpose that piques their curiosity and admiration, attract women. What women really want isn't stability. They want the thrill of shared adventures and the joy of exploring the unknown together. By adding mystery and imagination to your dynamic, you change yourself from a partner to a source of inspiration and excitement, so you don't have to follow a script. Accept the unexpected. Get into what you love. Try new things and keep growing as a person. Let her wonder what you're doing. Let her imagine what could happen next and feel the thrill of your unexpected but purposeful energy. You can't make this kind of interest happen. It just happens when you live a life full of purpose and life. In the end, it's not a list of traits that brings her closer, but how you make her feel by creating a sense of wonder. By adding fun and adventure to her life, you create a connection that she will want to make repeatedly. Number 8. The pull of magnets. In the pull of composed detachment, getting away. The more you demonstrate that you're not afraid to let go, the more she wants to hold on. This isn't about being mean or cruel. It's about showing a calm detachment. It's not being difficult to get or acting like you're not interested. It's a sign of real self-respect and inner calm. The quiet confidence conveys a powerful message. Even though I want you, I don't need you to be happy. When a woman knows you're okay with walking away, it changes her mind and makes you the person she wants to follow. Think about how fascinated she is with something slightly different. The harder something is to get, the more we want it. This is a basic part of human nature that we value. What's not obvious is that when you show calm detachment, you're telling her that your world doesn't revolve around her. This naturally piques her curiosity, leading her to wonder why he's not pursuing her like everyone else. What makes him so calm? What knowledge does he possess that I don't? These questions pique her interest and make her want to know more. On the other hand, if you're always looking for her approval, going out of your way to please her, or acting like losing her would be terrible, you risk losing your appeal instead of looking like a confident, desirable partner. It's important to tell the difference between composed detachment and apathy. By being cold or ignoring her, you're not trying to manipulate her. Instead, you're showing that while you value her presence, you also value your independence and self-worth. You let the relationship develop naturally without trying to control or rush it. This approach is appealing because it comes from genuine confidence, not calculated strategies. The man who can master this balance is fascinating. He doesn't fail her tests or get confused when she tries to make him do something. Chase respects his own boundaries and energy. This doesn't make him distant. It makes her feel lucky to be with him. He's the man she aspires to impress, as his attention isn't solely on her. The Stoic philosopher Epicurus stressed how important it was not to depend on outside outcomes. He believed that true freedom lies in valuing your own autonomy. Above all else, he said that freedom is the only worthwhile goal in life. We can achieve it by not tying our happiness or self-worth to another person's approval or actions in relationships. This means not worrying about whether she stays or leaves you. You stop worrying about the relationship's direction or her feelings all the time. Instead, you focus on becoming the best version of yourself by living honestly and letting things happen naturally. This way of thinking liberates you as you take control of your emotions and well-being, rather than allowing others' reactions and actions to shape them. Composed detachment isn't a game. It's about loving yourself enough to leave if you need to. It's about staying true to yourself and never letting someone else change who you are. Define your sense of worth. When you show that you respect yourself and won't cling out of fear, the dynamic changes. Suddenly she realizes that she has to work to keep your attention. Always remember that the most attractive men are at peace with themselves, don't seek approval, and make their own decisions in life. By embracing composed detachment and incorporating Stoic principles into your relationships, you become that man who is self-assured, emotionally grounded, and effortlessly attractive. As we near the conclusion of this video, let's pause to consider. The main thing we talked about today was a common but confusing problem that many men face. Why does showing too much care and affection sometimes push partners away? The issue lies not in love per se, but in the communication and reception of that love. When affection turns into attachment or emotional dependence, it can create an imbalance that makes the other person feel suffocated or even trapped. Ironically, a situation that should unite two individuals can instead drive them apart. The timeless knowledge of Stoicism directly links to this idea. Stoics stress self-mastery and self-worth and focus on what we can control, like our thoughts, actions, and reactions. When you apply this to relationships, it means being sure of yourself and staying rooted in your own purpose. Instead of looking for praise or validation from others, you stay strong and true to your values. This method naturally makes you more appealing because it shows that you are strong and independent. Show that you're someone who makes their own happiness, not someone who relies on a partner for everything. So, the lesson isn't to love less, but to love wisely. Show affection from a place of power and abundance, not insecurity. Feel free to share your love, but don't let it. Outside of the relationship, figure out who you are, develop your own hobbies, work toward your goals, and feed your passions. Finding this balance keeps the link alive, stops you from feeling needy, and lets love grow without sacrificing who you are. Take a moment to consider if your actions reflect your values and goals, or if you are sacrificing yourself to please others. Self-reflection can help you see tough facts and change the way you treat your relationships for the better. I challenge you to use what you've learned. Be the kind of man who is content with himself, who can love without losing who he is, and who leads with honesty and purpose. If you embrace these traits, you'll find the right partner and experience happiness and peace regardless of the relationship. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you liked what we talked about today, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the station. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever had a problem with loving too much in a relationship? How do you keep things in balance? Share your stories so we can all learn from them. Finally, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to use Stoic principles to master your relationships. Check out the suggested lessons on the screen to learn more about these concepts. Thanks for watching. Remember that real power comes from living a life where love is an expression of who you are, not a search for someone to complete you.